So we started out with me having to raise my right hand. So here's what we're going to do, Anik. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me.
All right.
I, Anik Singal,
I, Anik Singal,
will never
will never
speak to
speak to
the IRS.
the IRS. Absolutely. I have zero desire
There you go.
to.
See, here's the thing. Your tax advisor will have a bigger impact on your finances than any other person in your life other than your spouse. Okay? What you don't want to do is be talking to the IRS, because you will, as an entrepreneur, you will screw it up. Okay? Here's the way I look at it. You're going to play one-on-one basketball against a college basketball player. Okay? Now, you're going to go up against that college basketball player. And you're going one-on-one. Who's going to win that game? College basketball player, right?
Absolutely, all day long, yeah.
All day long. Let's say, though, you could hire LeBron James to come in and substitute for you and play that college player one-on-one. Now who's going to win?
Me.
Your team's going to win. So why would you ever put yourself in a position where you're going up against somebody who knows more than you do, when you could put somebody in there who knows more than they do?
Yeah.
You think about the IRS. Now, I appreciate what they do. I think they have one of the hardest jobs in the world. Seriously, I would rather be a proctologist than an IRS agent. It's a much cleaner job.
Sorry, I've just never heard that analogy. All right, that's definitely a visual there, Tom. There's definitely a visual.
There's a visual for you. Well, you think about it. Okay, so you come out of college and you go, okay, I could go work for a CPA firm where I'm the hero every single day. I'm always saving taxes. Or I could go work for an agency, a governmental agency, where none of my clients like me. They don't want to hear from me, and they never want to talk to me, and they're probably going to be rude to me. Now, where's your top students going to go? They're going to go to the CPA firms. Your A students go to the CPA firms. Your B students go to the lower level, what I call national CPA firms, and then your C students end up at the IRS. Well, you get an opportunity to put an A student against a C student. Who's going to win that? Who's going to win that? Okay, your A student's going to win. So this is where, I spent a lot of time with Mr. Kiyosaki, bless his heart, and I love him. And he wrote a book a few years ago called Why A Students Work for C Students and B Students Work for the Government. And it's a pretty funny title.
I just have a mental image of him saying it. Like he would say that. Yeah.
But here's the thing. There is a time when you do want A students working for you, right? Don't hire the B students. Don't hire the C students. Hire the A students, because guess what? The tax law is complex. All the details are complex. You have to know the basics. We've gone over a lot of the basics this morning. You have to know the basics. Your CPA, though, needs to know the intricacies of the tax law, because they're the ones going up against the IRS. You're never going to talk to the IRS. You get an IRS notice, you're going to send it to your CPA. That's what you're going to do. You're not even going to look at it. Just send it to your CPA. You get, and if it's a brown envelope, you open it, because that's a check, right? But if it's a white envelope, you just say, you turn to your assistant and say, here, scan this over and send it over to Tom, send it over to my CPA, because I want him to handle this situation. And then I'm going to get a power of attorney from you. And, Anik, we have a power of attorney for you all the time, right? So that anytime there's an IRS issue, we can just call the IRS. I actually have a direct line in to the best people at the IRS that the average person can't get into them. It's actually called the Tax Practitioners Hotline. So having that team, this is really strategy number 10. And I think this is the most important part, is having a team of advisors that really have your best interest in mind. That, by the way, that you can send them a text at 6 a.m. You can send them a text at 9 p.m, and you are going to get a response. Okay. Having those advisors that really understand their specialty. I'm a specialist. There's no question. I specialize in tax law. Don't be asking me asset protection questions. I have a general idea of it, but I'm not a specialist. That's a lawyer who's going to handle that. There's a lot of stuff I don't know, right? And by the way, if your accountant says that they know everything, you need to run, okay? Because they don't. Okay, we need to keep learning all the time. But I just think that having great advisors, I mean, Anik, let's face it. I mean, I've spent a lot of time with you as an advisor to me, right? I'm not a marketing guru. That's not my specialty, but I'm a business owner, so therefore marketing is important. So what do? I go to the best. I go to Anik Singal and say, Anik, how do we do this? How do we put this together? And so I'm a big believer myself in using advisors, using other people who know more than I do.
So I have to preach on this for a moment because it's made such an impact in my life. And I'm very blessed because, and so I'm not sucking up here, but for the fact that I have Tom, I want to give everybody like the series of events and how crazy and why. It's not even the fact that he saves me money. All right, so you guys, if you've been following the Fighting Entrepreneur podcast for a while, you'll remember I had Michael Kerrigan, who's my attorney, and he was on. And so he's our general counsel, right? He's the first person I go to for pretty much any matter. And then if I need a specialist, he points me the way. And he was on. He actually flew down here. And at the time that he was here, I told you I was looking for a very, very specialized type of person to ask a very specialized question. I Googled my brain off. I called people I could not find. I asked him, and he worked 3 days and goes and gets me the only person out of, there's probably 5 people in the country I could have talked to. And he got me one of them, right? And it's because of his experience. Now, why did he have those doors? It's 25, 30 years of meeting people, knocking down doors, shaking hands. But him and I have built a relationship. It's beyond the professional, you're my lawyer. He's been here at the Learn Center. He was at the grand opening. He flew down here to do the podcast episode. We've talked, we've had lunch. We've talked about his kids, my future plans. And so when I call him, it's not just a client. I'm not just a paycheck. It's like I'm Anik calling him. And he cares. And in that episode, I talked about just how freaking pivotal that's been. Because I've been in situations where I call him and I say, this guy needs to go down. Do what you got to do. And he calls me 3 months later and says, check your bank account. There should be a $200,000 wire. It's gone. Right? Like, how amazing is that? All right, now, Tom. Right? So many times I've messaged Tom, like, should I buy this car or not? Right? I don't even know if I'm really supposed to be texting him those things, but God bless him. He's nice and he always just responds. But I've had him involved in some smaller details, but I've had him involved in big things, huge things. I'm building a $3.6 million Learn Center. Should I? Is it a good idea? Is it going to cost me a ton of money? Is there a tax savings there? I'm thinking about investing money in XYZ. Should I? And that recently happened 2 weeks ago. Hey, Tom, I think I'm going to invest in this. What do you think? Don't do that. Why? You should do this. Why? Because of the following 19 reasons. Oh, hey, but where do I learn this? Do you know someone? Yeah, actually, go to this event. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm at the event. I'm sitting. Here's the thing. I got massive ADD. I can't listen for a lot. I don't know how my own students sit through my events. I have freaking no clue. Like, I'm sitting in the event. And so Brad Sumrock, if you're listening, I mean this with like the warmest of hearts. I'm sitting in the event like 3 hours in and I'm like, I'm going to shoot myself. Like, I can't sit in one place. Like, can I pace? Can I run around? Where's my laptop? There's no internet in the room, which was damn smart because I wouldn't have paid attention. And my wife's loving it, by the way. She's taking notes and she's paying attention. I'm like, I can't. And that was when I sent you a text. Do you remember, Tom? And I said, hey, he's going to sell me something. Yes or no? So Brad's going to do a 2-day event to convince me to buy something from him. And I don't care. I sent a 10-word message to Tom. Yes or no? And Tom's message back made me feel yes. So at that point, I'm looking at my wife and I'm like, do you think Brad would mind if I just walk up to him and like, here's my credit card now. Like, can I leave? Like, I just want to buy what you're selling. But that's the level of confidence I'm able to move around in. Whenever I want to do something financial, I turn to my team, right? And if I don't have someone in my team, I turn to my team and say, I need someone in my team. And it's made decision-making in my life. And you know what? I've come to learn, and Tom, you can agree or disagree. This is why the rich get richer.
Oh, no question. The challenge that most entrepreneurs have is we're just caught up in this do-it-yourself. right? If I'm going to get something done right, I'm going to do it myself. Well, that's so stupid. If I'm going to get something done right, I'm going to hire the person who knows how to do it the best in order to get it done right. I'm building a guest house right now with a studio, and I'm going, I don't know how to do this. So I've got Anik, my technology guy, Clint, and he's in there actually building the studio for me, working with my builder. And then I got Irene, my assistant over here, and she's making sure everything gets handled. And the builder's got all these people working for him. They've got the sheetrock people, and then they've got the roof people, and they've got the framing people, and all these kind of stuff. You don't do it by yourself. You don't build a house by yourself. You don't build a business by yourself. And frequently, you always hear it's loneliest at the top. Well, that's why you have advisors, because it is lonely at the top. There are certain things you cannot ask your staff. Okay, you need somebody that you go, I'm going to ask somebody who knows more than I do about this subject, and that I know that I have a relationship with them. And it's not a relationship. It's not a top-down relationship. It's a peer-to-peer relationship. And so I can ask Tom something that I might not be able to ask an employee, or I can ask my attorney something I could not ask an employee. And so then we can get really much better information. And then you also have that person to go rely on. Say, oh, hey, by the way, I need this contract done. So your attorney just says, oh, okay. And they know your business. And so it's just, you get bigger. This is why I say entrepreneurship is really a personal development journey. That's what it is. As we get bigger and we can handle more, we can trust other people to handle that stuff that we don't know how to do. And it's okay to say, I don't know.
No, it's so true. And so I'm going to leave it at that, everybody. I challenge you, if you're an entrepreneur and you don't have, seriously, the first part of your wealth team, it was mine. The first part of my wealth team was Tom. It was a great accountant, because you got to do that first, and then you got the rest. So the more money you save, then you need someone who can help you invest it. And guess what? When you need that, you call your great accountant and say, I need help with this. Who can you recommend me to? And they'll have their network. So with that said, wealthability.com, wealthability.com. Schedule yourself to talk to one of Tom's most trusted people and figure out how they can work with you in a personal environment. And, that's so much better than reading and studying and trying to do it on your own. Get someone who knows their stuff. Let them do what they're good at. Pay them for it and make a heck of a lot more.
Thanks for listening to The Fighting Entrepreneur with your host, Anik Singal.